They've done enough, you feel, over the period of the season to become champions at the end of the campaign. They, of course, take on familiar foes, Manchester City. Craig made a good point when we were talking about this game last week, is that considering the demolition that Manchester City produced on Real Madrid last season, has Real Madrid progressed enough to change that? And there is an argument to say they've actually regressed.
Yes. Well, Ancelotti has to get his tactics better than he did in that game at the Etihad, where he allowed Manchester City all the possession. They were too open. He had players on the field that weren't very good defensively. Modric was outrun on that occasion. So he's got to get his tactics absolutely right against Man City. And few coaches ever know exactly how to play against Manchester City. Real Madrid, I think, are a good side at the moment. They're scoring goals. They're playing some good football. Vinicius Junior, who has been excellent for them. They've got their midfield sorted out. They'll probably have Bellingham back in the side. But I can't see them beating Manchester City. Manchester City are going to be too good for them over the two legs. And I think it's going to be the same fate for Real Madrid as it was last season.
Well, the blueprint really was what Liverpool did at Anfield.
Yeah.
But can't, what Liverpool did in their pressing game, we saw the Rodris, the Bernardo Silvas, the Kevin De Bruynes and others as frustrated and as sloppy on the ball as we have done any other time this season, right? By a long way. Now, they didn't win the game, Liverpool, but they damn well should have done. The question is, does Real Madrid have that ability and energy in the side? I mean, I suppose if Modric won't play, but you'd imagine Toni Kroos will play. If it's Camavinga and Valverde and it's Rodrigo and Vinicius up front and Bellingham if he's fit and where they should be, have those have got the youthfulness, but have they got the appetite to go and do that, play that pressing game and really ask questions that Liverpool asked Man City? If they don't, why would it be any different, as Stuart said, to City having this
without
possession?
Militao, without Courtois.
And then you're prodding at the weaknesses. Yeah. And I think from Real Madrid's perspective is you've got to try... The best defence is a strong offence. And keeping... And what they've done in some big games this season, Real Madrid, and thinking back to the big game against Girona recently, which at the time was a sort of top two clash, they did not allow Girona near to their back four. They stifled him up the other end of the field. So they kept him away from the weak point in their side. And Carvajal played centre-half that day. That's what they have to try and do against City, is keep the Silvas, the De Bruynes, the Dokus, the Erling Haalands, is keep them isolated and away from Real Madrid's penalty box. Because once they get around there, then that's when these guys tend to pick these brilliant passes and Real Madrid will get destroyed. It's going to come down to, as Stuart said, Ancelotti's tactics, his personnel, and whether they think they can take on Man City toe-to-toe.
And, of course, the other game in that half, the draw, is brilliant. Arsenal against Bayern Munich. Arsenal go into that tie as favourites. Bayern, of course, have had a horrible season overall. Thomas Tuchel will be leaving at the end of their campaign. This should be a lot of fun, shouldn't it, Robbo?
It should be. All you could say is that Arsenal have been excellent in the games I've seen so far since the Christmas period. The two games where they haven't played quite so well were in the Champions League against Porto. They made hard work against Porto. Porto were able to slow them down. They couldn't get their fluency. And that's exactly what Bayern have got to try and do and then cause Arsenal problems on the counter-attack. But over the course of the two games, once again, I would say Arsenal are favourites to beat Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich just haven't seemed to be a team this season. They've got some good players, the same players as they had before, but Thomas Tuchel hasn't got the best out of the team or individuals.